Hi, Chris Madsen here. Welcome to the introduction to Attuned Being. The benefits of being attuned are incredibly amazing. It's like having a whole new life. It's like an ocean that you can access in any moment that brings solutions, vibrant health in all aspects, and clear knowing, inner knowing of what's going on in the world and why things are as they are, the inner world and outer world. And reality is understood. It's a beautiful thing to be attuned as a being. And what attunement is those of us that do some meditation and self-inquiry meaning looking within. Like, is this all there is? And really digging deep. Many have done that. And those of us, like myself, have discovered that, wow, am I ever glad that inner pull that had pulled me to things of spirit and whatnot, I allowed that pull. And those that have gone before, they can show the roadmap, like I'm doing here. And that saves countless hours of meditations and things like that. In essence, what it is to be attuned is to realize that all that you are observing is being observed within the awareness. At first, it's like you may say, well, of course I'm aware that all of these things are occurring. That's just walking in the door, so to speak. The room itself is recognizing that as awareness, that's all there is. That it's not like I am aware and there's all of these things going on that I am aware of. It's I am awareness, and within the awareness, all that is manifest into form happens. We have been brought up culturally around the world in the particularly last 5 centuries, to have a belief that we are like a speck observing out at an infinite universe. The technical name for that is materialism. And this material belief basically says that there's infinite space, and somehow at one point there was a big explosion, and from this explosion matter and energy were formed. That's materialism, the belief. And that out of this, at the very last stages that we're in now, somehow conscious awareness of the matter has occurred. As we do self-inquiry and meditation and research, we discover that that's not reality. That's a fairy tale. The reality is, in our experience, And that which is self-evident demonstrates that it's out of awareness that what appears to be material, rocks, trees, kitty cats, sky, it's out of awareness that all of these things are happening. And so a very easy way to say it is replace the word that we think of as space, point A, point B, 5 miles over there or up in the clouds. Replace that with awareness, consciousness. And that pulls you closer to reality of what is. And a very easy way to explain this is simply by asking yourself, are you aware? You will look and you'll go, yes, I am aware. And then, so everything that you're aware of is occurring in your awareness. And now attuning is to attune to the very essence of reality, which is this awareness. It is actually more simple to attune than it is to breathe or even think. The reason is because you always are aware, but in not being attuned, you're not aware that you're aware, so all of the effects of what you're aware of dominate life. And so an attuned being turns the whole thing around, where they become the creators of what they're aware of. And it's this is where we're going collectively. This is where everything is taking us to. So this is the introduction to being an attuned being. Being attuned is absolutely amazing. In my personal life, there's so much joy and inner peace and bliss. And before I was attuned, there was always, it was like yearning. There was something missing. I was always reaching out for something, not quite satisfied. Even driving, I would hurry to get to the next place. Whereas now, I could, when a red light comes or I'm in a lineup at a grocery store or something, it's all just so beautiful. It's just, this moment. It's like there's this river flowing through. And this river brings perfect balance, harmony in your life. And so the rest of this Attuned Being video will be on how to really arrive there and remain there. It's a mindful, practice isn't the right word. That implies, effort. And this is effortless. It's mindful effortlessness. Well, here we go. Let's get it to. An attuned being is attuned to the source, the creator, the absolute, the nameless one, the I am, the source of all existence, that which is reality. There are qualities, aspects of the essence, the prime first cause, the nameless one. Now, the mind that we're using to process, though, cannot comprehend what I am going to share now. But yet, because you are not your mind, you are simply using your mind as one more instrument in your toolbox, just like you're using a body and you're using your thoughts, things of this nature. You can know the absolute because it's who you really are. Now, the mind is going to go into all sorts of just blah, when dealing with the absolute, because it wants everything in a box. 2 + 2 is 4, and on and on. But yet, it is the absolute that created the mind itself. And the mind is an instrument that has great functions. Its role of navigating us through this 3D realm. Way to go, mind. But for this, we need the whole of our own essence. The absolute has qualities, and one of the qualities is it is changeless. It always is the same. Never has, never will change. And yet, all that is change in this realm is within it and does change. Right? The mind just went, la, la, and to even make it more is that what we think of as space, the absolute doesn't even require space. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even exist. Replace the word space with awareness, and now you've got it. All that within the absolute is absolute awareness, consciousness. And to soothe the mind here, we can also say it is the mind. Yet the mind is processing what the absolute is. We could say it's the knower. Another aspect of the absolute, the nameless, I'm using the word absolute because it refers to that which is non-dual. There is no duality. It's the prime first cause, the absolute. Within the absolute, there's no time, there's no space, and there's also no requirement for anything. As a matter of fact, anything that exists is dependent upon it, but not the other way around. It does not require anything at all. Things are effects occurring within the absolute. Another quality is it is all-knowing. All that is, could possibly be, ever was, shall be, it's already in the now, in the absolute occurring. There is no time within the absolute. It's always now. But yet all that occurs in this realm that appears to be in time, yesterday, tomorrow, on and on, is occurring within the absolute. So you see what I'm saying when the mind can't process this, but you can, because you are not your mind. You are this awareness. And we can do a little check here right now to see if that's true, because there's no thing that I am teaching here that requires belief. Nothing. It is all can be verified. So let's verify right now. Are you aware? Do a check. And I already know everyone will say, yes, I am aware. Now, that within you that did the check to see if you're aware or not, that is the awareness itself. That is what we're attuning to. That is the absolute in which all else is held. We can think of space now and the absolute. Okay, look around everything in the room or wherever you are. Pretend that that's gone now. And now the very earth itself is gone. And now everything that has form is gone. Even so, your awareness would remain. It remains. It's not dependent upon the stuff, but the stuff is dependent upon the awareness, which is puts it all kind of in place. And another way to say it would be a movie screen. If you have a movie screen and there's a movie playing on it, the screen is not dependent upon the movie, but the movie is dependent upon the screen. The dance of light requires the screen for its projection. And in that very same sense, all that exists within the awareness. Now we can interchange the word awareness, consciousness, the knower, and space even with the absolute. And so in attuning, what we're doing is we are re-engaging our mind. So here you go, mind. Yes, you do have a function here. Very important one. We are re-engaging with reality, that which really is. And so I don't like to do the opposite so much as just show the authentic truth. But in this case, it's valid to do it because we have been so inundated culturally, worldwide, for quite a few generations now. So we've got a lot of ancestor stuff going on with this as well. That somehow there's infinite space in a material world, and that somewhere along the line, after some big explosion, we came along, and now consciousness, our awareness, is observing the space and the matter within it. That, point blank, is a fairy tale. That's not true. And there's nothing, literally no proof that that is true. And here is the proof of that statement, is that whatever is being observed is not being observed outside of awareness. It's all within consciousness. And until the scientists realize that, they will just be, doing their little thing and never getting anywhere. As soon as scientists start recognizing it's all, the cause is consciousness, awareness, and from there modulates out through an electromagnetic wave dance of energy through and within the mind. When they get that, then we will see great leaps and bounds occurring. But for now, in the attunement, what we're attuning to is the absolute. And that means that all of the effects, things, beliefs, thoughts, feelings, images, all that seems material, physical, all of that is known to be effects. That includes our own thoughts and mind, our own beingness, our body and such. And so we are attuning to reality, the absolute. And then in doing that, what occurs, now you're an attuned being, you can rightly see what's going on and experience it and be it. And now you're in alignment. It's almost like, pretend like you spent your whole life believing you had to push a heavy car around. And so when you saw an uphill, oh my goodness, another struggle in my life. And then you get to hop in it on the downhill that goes for a little bit, knowing the next struggle's just around the corner. Attuning, it's almost, it's similar to saying, now you discover, hey, there's a motor and I got the key and I can just drive this thing around. It's kind of like that. And so in the next phase, here, the next part of this video, Attuned Being, we are going to go into ways and means of disconnecting from that which is not real into that which is reality, to the absolute. And a beautiful truth is, and a quality of the absolute is pure love. And so expect many moments of the effects of love, which are bliss, a tenderness, a peace beyond understanding, just every moment being just so aligned, attuned, just feeling good, an inner joy, a serenity, happiness, a happiness that cannot be taken. It's not dependent upon the effects. And another quality to expect is wisdom. You will see how things are really going, and you'll recognize that those things that seem to be problems in your life dissolve. And another aspect of it is that solutions become self-evident. So rather than dealing with problems, you're dealing with solutions to them. And so let's go to the next part now, and ways of attuning. We don't need to know how electricity works in order to use it. It does help to know how the wires are connected to create the effects. But if they are, and we turn on the switch, then we can access that power. For many centuries, electricity was not used in homes. It was always available, but it wasn't used because no one in that collective consciousness knew how to access it. And then when it was used, the wires connected correctly, it became of great value. And in this moment, something of even greater value, this attunement, is here now for us. It's available, and we can use it. And very much so like the not needing to know how it works, because again, the mind cannot process the absolute. But we know it does work. We see the effects of it. And your pure awareness, that is the absolute, draws into this realm, into your world of effects, your life, from the absolute. And how that switch is drawn is through your feelings, through your heart, through your emotions, through your thoughts. So what you focus on, what you focus your attention on, becomes what fills your awareness. If I have a jar of water, pure water, I can put different colors in it, different dyes or whatever, and then it is colored by that. And it's the very same sense with the awareness that you are. You are the purity, the pure awareness. Yet you color it with the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions. And as the common expression is true, thoughts become things. To the point where literally everything that is what appears as being material was first a feeling tone, a thought, a template, and within the absolute then coalesces into form. We'll say this shirt here. Somebody decided that it's a good idea to make shirts. So then they had an idea for this particular shirt. So they made a template, some sort of blueprint. They had it first in their mind, drew it out, then got the resources and made the shirt. Cups, everything is first. It comes from the consciousness and then into form. The greater self, the pure awareness, the essence, the I am, the absolute, has created the earth itself, the playground in which we are moving within. So things like trees and mountains and earth and sun and moon and such, they're all the direct result of the thought forms of the absolute. And so to attune is to whatever we bring our intention, our attention to, can even be just a tiny seed of something, because as you focus on it, it magnifies. And so if I'm focusing on pure love, absolute pure love, that begins to fill my awareness. And as the monkey mind jumps all around, we just allow it to. We keep returning and being. The key word here is attuned being. And that literally means be in this now moment. All that is given, all the attunement, is always in this now moment. And so if we are not in a vibrational match with it, we can return to it, because it's always, picture yourself as being a radio, and that you have the power to turn the channels. If you're between channels, there's a lot of static. Now, there is this pure love channel. So as you attune to the absolute, it infills, it's like it filters through from the absolute and converts into whatever is required for you in this dimension. We don't have to necessarily focus on any given thing, like sending love to a particular person or object or anything. Just like the sun being, resonating in this love. And if you have even a seed of the feeling tone, an image of it, like even a little glimpse of it, as you focus on that, it becomes all that is. It's like, picture the awareness of being a room and you have a flashlight, and wherever you're focusing the flashlight, that's what you're seeing. Your attention in any given moment, what that is turning to is what fills your awareness. It's like putting dye in the water. And it's so simple. Now, in every moment, we are all, whether we are aware of it or not, we are attuning to something. Whatever we're allowing to fill our awareness is what we're attuning to. And so we can attune rather than focusing on the effects that are in this realm. We focus on the cause, on the absolute that is this pure love. And as we do, we become attuned to it. We don't need to rely on sensations or feelings or emotions that are filling the awareness as we do this. Because those are effects. What we do is simply be. We sit in the love. We are at one. Attune is to atone, which is at one. We become one with this. So it's like our jar of water being filled with the pure love. We're attuning to it. And as we do, healing comes, solutions come, the perfect path for your life. The assurance that you are taken care of, that the same absolute that you are turning your inner standing to be at one with, has all along turned to you and been with you, simply waiting for your free will to be filled by it, with it, and as it. And as you do become attuned with this pure love, you realize that it's all encompassing. It's the absolute. And the illusion, the Maya, the dream world has been that somehow you are separated from it. You are now connected with Source, the essence. And in this beingness, you recognize that heaven is where love flows. And that in giving love, you become love. In receiving this love, you become this love. And in simply being this love, in every breath, in every moment, the qualities of love infill your awareness. And as collectively we do this, the entire earth realm, the world, will also come into alignment with this. It starts with us. It starts by not trying to change others, but simply being the love ourselves. And just like the sun shines, just by being the sun, the life-giving light, the heat, the sun itself, reaches out to all. And so, attunement is not some magic thing that requires certain meditation practices, certain higher knowledge things. It's so simple that it's easier than breathing. It's simply like flipping the electric switch, returning to reality, which is we move and have our being in the absolute. Our awareness is the absolute. And that in this earth realm that we're navigating through, we are using a body temple. We are not our body temple. We are observing our body temple just like we observe all the other effects in the material world. We are not our thoughts. We have thoughts, and we can use those thoughts to return to the absolute and the love. Just like our bodies can carry us and into creating beautiful things and living and being in beautiful harmony. Our minds are designed to be that which flips the switch to love. It's like the crossroads to the absolute. And so in attunement, if there is to be a practice, let it be being still in the breath and returning home, your true home, to pure love. Knowing that the very source of creation is about being this love. That's why in the absolute, there's no requirement for change, time, or space. It's already perfect, whole, and complete. I often love just sitting on a shoreline. Being in nature is so beautiful because there we're in a direct connection with sources, ideas. And knowing there is nothing needs doing, simply being this love. Nothing needs to be worked out, simply be this love. Nothing even needs fixing, simply be this love. And then as we navigate through this dimension, doing the things that humans do, we are now attuned. So even though it's like there's a Zen proverb quote that is, before enlightenment, chop wood, fetch water, cook dinner. After enlightenment, chop wood, fetch water, cook dinner. And the difference is, of course, is after enlightenment, the one is attuned. We allow. We don't need to know how the electrical power system works. We just know it does. We don't need to know how life is breathed into a human body. We simply know it is. We don't need to know how the absolute pours this love and is this love through us. We simply know it does when we simply sit in attunement. The greatest teachings will be taught to you in silence. There is the teacher that speaks directly to your heart in the stillness. Listen. Be. A word of wisdom in closing is, bury this in your heart. No person, no place, no circumstance, no environment, no material things are your source. They don't bring the happiness. The absolute source alone does. It's the end of suffering. beginning of being home, the home of love. A light that ever shines. There is a flame that ever burns, and there are souls, they carry this light within their hearts. This flame ever burns. Where they go, this light shines. Where they rest, this flame burns. When they cross the veil, it guides, carries them back home. There is a love that ever shall be. There is a love that ever shall burn, and there are souls, they carry this love within their heart. This flame ever burns. Where they go, this love shines. Where they rest, this love burns. And when they cross the veil, it guides, carries them back home. I am this light fills my